Okay, we shall start now. A warm welcome to Abode Masters, Hualien Dharma team, and brothers and sisters around the globe to Saturday Hualien Dharma Talk. A very good morning. Let us start the session for today. Okay, today I would like to share a short accepted master's speech. It is truly precious to have the affinity to create blessings. Contentment, gratitude, understanding, and tolerance. 实际 4-ingredient soup. 4-ingredient spiritual soup should be embraced by all. Use your life wisely and establish its true value. It is truly precious to have the affinity to create blessings. Blessings cannot be achieved by one person alone. It takes a collective effort from many. 3 or more people united are many. The unity of many intrinsically has great power. 感恩 for Master's teaching. Now let us send our sincere prayers into the 10 directions. May the Sahara land be free from disaster and peace prevails in the world. Let us sing the prayer song with sincere piousness.
In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. All my heart is filled with sincere prayer. From all corners of the world, let us join our hearts and pray for a world of harmony and peace. In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. May all the Buddhas hear my prayer. All united with one heart, let us end our hate with love. May there be no suffering hereafter.
May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disasters in the world. Let us together pray for blessing and universal love. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let us wish every person in our lives a healthy body, an enlightened mind, and a total fulfillment in universal love. Now let us expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make this wonderful world even better. Let us all immerse ourselves in the joyful embrace of universal love. Before you hear the wonderful sharing, Let us invite our masters to pay respect to the triple gems. Let us pay our respect for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Cheng Yen by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise, palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved Abode Masters who could join us today. Okay, today we have sharing from all the way from Mozambique, part 1, where Brother Chaponda and Brother Walter, and followed by Sister Su Ching and Brother Joe on the education footprints in Lumbini. Let us invite Sister Su Ching for the weekly summary. Karen, Sister Su Ching, over to you.
Okay, I have some problems with my video. So after speaking my reciting the summary, I will log out and log in again. Hold on, let me share. Okay. So last week we had Sister Kaping who spoke about her journey in Bulgaria. In Bulgaria, Sister Kaping saw hardships faced, burned victims, poor children in a harsh place. She reflected on the path of good teachers there, values for youth and mentors to share. 13 young Su Ching in sessions deep discussed life's meaning and vows to keep. They spoke of change, how we show inside, through what we wear, eat, and abide. Questions arose on guiding each unique soul, studying life as the ultimate goal, meeting students from far lands anew. To Tzu Chi's heart, more volunteers flew. Now in Bulgaria, Sister Kaping finds cheer, forging bonds with people far and near, planting seeds of kindness and care, and spreading love for the world to share. Master Teshu also spoke on about selflessness. Sorry, fearlessness, not selflessness. Master Teshu shared a path through precepts guide, protecting our lives when the world seems hard. As storms rage on and conflicts grow, our actions shape the world we sow. Shila, which is the cultivation of virtuous ethical conduct of precepts, Shila guides us to live in peace, a shield of goodwill where fears release, not chains but armor against greed's allure, a path through life that's stable and pure. Practicing Shila brings freedom and care. The golden rule, our answer is there. If all could follow compassion's creed, imagine the world where kindness leads. Master reminds us to be awake, a life of love for harmony's sake. For each small act, we nurture what's pure. In the precepts guidance, our hearts are secured. Okay, Kan'an for listening. I'll hand over now to Brother Jin to introduce our speakers from afar. Over to you, Brother Jin.
Kan'an, Sister Su Ching, good morning, a very good morning, dear brothers and sisters. This morning, Saturday sharing. We have begin with for today, all the way from Mozambique. We have sessions sharing with us the impact of Tzu Chi actions in Mozambique, which is only the part 1 for today. So let me introduce, we have Brother Chaponda, Maria, who's going to share with us on the impact of English language teaching in volunteers and beneficiaries. And then later on, after that, we have Brother Walter Casimiro, who is going to talk about tutoring in a post-cyclone scenario. So without further ado, let me request to bring on, yes, 2 brothers there all the way from Mozambique. I'm not sure what time you have there right now.
Hi, greetings everyone. Actually, now we are in Taiwan.
Okay. So you're in the same time zone as us. It's about 6 in the morning. That's wonderful. So we have, brother Chaponda is going to speak first, right?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, the platform is all yours. You may begin.
Thank you. Good morning, brothers and sisters. It's an honor for me to be joining you this morning. And I hope you like the sharing. I'll begin saying that there are many challenges for us as English teachers in our country, we are an Portuguese-speaking country. Many people believe that Mozambique we make borders with South Africa. We are an speaking English country, but not. We are officially a Portuguese-speaking country, so that we face a lot of challenges. But today, I'm not here to talk about the challenges, but the wonderful impacts that the teaching of English language teaching the beautiful impact that the English language teaching impact in these beneficiaries and volunteers. We have a lot of tutoring programs, especially not only site teaching, but online teaching as well. We have Mandarin as well as English, and this has given a lot of grateful impact to our students. They develop their linguistic proficiency so easily so that they can have different opportunities, and further on they can join to different special groups of society, and as well as gain different opportunities in life. Well, as a briefing introduction, when it comes to teaching to non-native speakers or non-native learners, we have several questions we have to learn. Most of all, there are 6 questions, which are: why does the student need to learn English? And who is going to be involved in that process of teaching and learning? The third one is: where is the learning process going to take place and when? Specifically, we focus on what does the student need to learn and how will this learning be achieved. So answering these questions, in future, we may have the answers to what are our objectives. English language beneficiaries have faced or have been touched with a lot of profound impact. Which one? The first is the economic empowerment, the social inclusion and community integration, and most of all, the personal benefits which expand the educational horizons. Because first of all, by being a student in our Sushi headquarters, that gives them a broad view of the future they can achieve, which is being of getting a degree in any language they prefer, because Portuguese is not considered as English abroad in different countries. For example, we have students who have scholarships now, Mozambican students who had scholarships and usually have scholarships. When they come to Taiwan, first of all, they take English as their first language, not Portuguese. So this is a personal benefit because not opens different doors to their educational arena, but they also get socially included. And in those communities they usually join, they do not feel oppressed or depressed by the language. Through the economic empowerment, English proficiency opens doors to different jobs opportunities and entrepreneurship for those who in future would like to do business, and the global connections. As, for example, we have here in Taiwan, our students are doing or are improving connectivity with different students from different countries. Sorry. Through social inclusion and community integration, English has given a good community engagement. The English skills enable our students to participate in various social and civic activities. They do not have English as a barrier because they have already the knowledge. The language also offers a self-advocacy, improving our ability to communicate their needs and ideas in various settings, various places. Expanding the educational horizons, they also have access to higher education. As I mentioned previously, when they gain the scholarships, they have access to any other university. Instead, also, not only in Su Ching, if they feel like pursuing their studies later, they can also join any country. They have also their intellectual enhancement, learning to improve problem solving, multitasking, and they also develop their memory skills. They improve also their literacy with English programs, also boosting their reading and writing skills, not only, but the listening skills as well, as they're not native in English. It also promotes health and well-being benefits. Okay. English proficiency can significantly impact on their lives, improving their understanding of medical information and communication with healthcare. They also get informed and take wise decisions, and also get psychological benefits. Why? Because in our country, everything is in Portuguese. And today, there's a saying which says that one who doesn't know English doesn't know anything in the world, because English has been a worldwide language, a business language, and everything is in English nowadays. So having this mindset, having this knowledge, improving their skills in the language gives them all the abilities required to be a member of the nowadays society. The language also empowers our volunteers. They develop their skills and communication. They also become leaders in their activities and communities, as well as they develop a broader global perspective. They do not feel themselves closed. They do not feel themselves shy not to communicate, whether you are from a different country or not. You are able, or they are able to share everything they have. They are able to do everything they want to, as long as they are able to communicate. And has a long-term impact. We have this breaking of poverty cycle. I focus more on intellectual poverty, not material poverty. I focus more on intellectual poverty because the education itself opens different doors and opens as many doors as possible for them to acquire different knowledge that will enrich them through English language, and also provides these community connections. Stronger skills with different connections and nations are constructed, and this also builds and increases the resilience, the ability to adapt to any challenge they face in life. Thank you very much, Anne, for my briefing, sharing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brother Chaponda. Still on this topic, I would like also to take this chance, this opportunity, um, to highlight also that during this process, Teacher Chaponda has mentioned where the students, our volunteers and our beneficiaries have the opportunity of learning English classes on site by our local teachers. Actually, we are in two places in Mozambique. Right now we're in Maputo and also Sofala, whereby we have local teachers working face-to-face with the students. But apart from these teachers, we also count on global volunteers, global teaching volunteers who also have been assisting our students through online means. So I'm talking about the Mozambique Online Tutoring Program. This program has been started for about 3 years now, and I would like to actually also take this opportunity to thank Brother Sean. He implemented the tutoring program so that it could help students to get in touch with different people, with our Tuchi global volunteers, while in Mozambique, before they are granted scholarship opportunities to come to Taiwan. So they through this program, they have great opportunities not only to practice English, but also to get in touch with Tichy philosophy. I have I have noticed that most of our global Tushi teachers or global Tushi tutors, they take this chance, this opportunity, not only to review or practice the classes they had along the week, but they also, I've seen their very different methods, very interesting and engaged methods, such as singing Tsuchi songs with the students. They also have been sharing aphorism with the students in English, which is even greater. So I would like to take this opportunity and thank all the online tutors across the globe. They have been dedicating their time to practice English with our students. And we have noticed that apart from uh, practicing the language itself, our students, they have opportunity of learning further, having further information or learning further regarding master's stories, the Tuchi songs, especially the Tuchi humanistic culture, which is something that we are also, as an education mission, we feel that it's very important to instill in students whenever we're in the classroom. We are not only focused actually on the language itself, but also we take some time to share the aphorisms, especially for the youth who are already doing grade 12, who have done high school, who are preparing themselves for university. They have a chance to, we as teachers and with the students, we together, we reflect on the aphorism teaching. They are free to say what they understand, and we have sometimes to discuss with them. And it's very interesting to see how these teachings can really boost their intellectual achievements combined with the English classes. And I would like also to thank to take this opportunity to thank also the sisters, the brothers and sisters who have been assisting us also on aphorism material. We also had a chance as teachers to have a training on how best we can share aphorism to our students. So all due to this tutoring online program brought by Brother Sean. At first, it was a little bit complicated. We had to work with the students, teach them to mind the time. We were to deal with new ways of communication, such as online meetings. For some students, it was quite new, so it was a little bit challenging. But at the end of the day, it was an added value because they not only could practice their English, but also they would master on how to use computers, how to connect by themselves, and also the chance of practicing, of discussing about teaching humanistic culture. So this was very great opportunity we've had so far, and we have also seen the results actually about this connection. The students, when they come to Taiwan, especially the students from last year and the year before, they would come here somehow already in touch with the teachers. So most of the things were not quite new. They would feel a little bit more comfortable. They wouldn't feel that shy as we were expecting because they would be in touch with most of the volunteers across the globe, and each one of them would, in his own way, share the Tushi concept, the Tushi philosophy, along with the English language practice. So to continue, I would like to move to the second topic, which is the tutoring or cram school program in a post-cyclone scenario. So this program takes place in Sofala province, and it was motivated by, it came along with the post-cyclone reconstruction project. Tichi started, after Cyclone died, Tichi started a program of reconstruction, not only houses, reconstructing not only houses, but also the schools. So in Sofala at the time, the Tushi program, Tushi started the reconstruction project, but along with the project of rebuilding or building schools, Tushi decided that it was important also to go and see how are the students doing. For those who might not be contextualized, in 2019, Tushi was hit by a very big cyclone where a lot of students, it affected over 1,400 people, and many people were displaced. And because of that, most of the students, especially primary school students, they spend some time without being able to attend classes. And this had a negative impact on their education. First, because during the cyclone, there was no way they could attend lessons, unfortunately. And also, after that, they were displaced. They were somehow resettled. They were somehow resettled in other areas. And they got there, and of course, the government managed its best also to make sure they would, as quick as possible, go back to school. But we as Tichi, we also found it very important to go to the resettlement centers. And apart from the aid we were already giving, such as the food aid, that Tushi, all the volunteers were there every day providing the meals for the victims. We also decided that as education side, it was very important to go to the homes, to the families, especially on those recently resettled in the resettlement areas, and talk to the students, talk to the family, make sort of assessment. And it was a very great opportunity for most of us as volunteers to, especially from Maputo, to get in touch and know further about, on site about the consequences. Most of us, when there are cyclone, maybe we just think about the houses that have been damaged, the schools that have been damaged, but we notice that more than the houses, especially the children, they suffered quite a lot. They suffered quite a lot in a way that when they were at school, it was noticed by the teachers that they could not copy uh, as much as the other students, the usual students who were not affected by the cyclone. So, and some of the teachers, they also shared that with Tushi volunteers that the students who experienced cyclones, who experienced these consequences, this displacement from one place to another, and those very hard days, they could not be much concentrated inside the class. This was the first aspect. And also, they couldn't cope up with the contents provided by the teacher. So in this scope, it was decided that it would be very, very good, very important to provide tutoring to children. So we started in 2023 with 94 students in Kura Resettlement Center. So in Kura Resettlement Center in 2023, we assisted 94 students, and from grade 1 to grade 6. We got in touch with the Education Directorate locally, and we introduced the project, the program, and we proposed to the local government. It went through the administration and also the Education Directorate. And we got in touch with the school directors also and some teachers, explaining the need of providing extra classes, as well as the community leaders also. We got in touch with the community leaders, and we held some meetings also with the community in order to explain what Tushi aimed to do apart from the project of reconstruction. We were willing to provide extra classes. And for this, we got in touch with some teachers training institutes in Mozambique in order for these institutes to refer their teachers, their best teachers according to our own expectations, as well as the expectations of the school board. And it was a very great experience. The schools, the teachers training institutes, they were very happy for the program. First of all, they were very happy, they were very amazed by the program, and also they cooperated with us on provision of students, of great candidates to join us as professional teachers who would dedicate themselves on the improvement of the students. And these teachers were always in touch with the teachers in public schools in order for them to cooperate and together see how best they could provide these lessons aimed at improving their academic performance, as well as the behavioral aspects that I'm going to manage later on. So from 2023 to 2024, the program expanded. In 2023, we only had 94 students, but in 2024, we had up to 113 in the same place in Kura Resettlement Center. And more recently, we have expanded also to another resettlement center, now with 116 students, now aiming from grade 1 up to grade 6. And so far, the improvement, which is very something that really amuses us as teachers, we could see the improvement of the students up to 94%. And the most important is that their improvement was not only regarding the school performance, but also regarding their behavioral aspects. We got some witnesses from their parents, some guardians, as well as the teachers, because these students, they attend these extra lessons, this reinforcement or cram school classes from Su Ching before or after attending the regular classes at school. So and as well as we've been in communication with the the teachers and the school directors nearby, they have also been expressing their feedback. They've been also giving us a feedback, and they mentioned that apart from the performance, school performance, the students show also some improvement in terms of behavior, which is something that really uh, makes us very, very happy. Because in the scope of these lessons, in these resettlement centers, apart from the regular classes, the regular lesson plans that the teachers follow according to the guidance from the Minister of Education, according to the guidance locally by the provincial directorate, as well as the district directorate. We also care about the character education as to she teachers. And we take this opportunity also to bring different lessons, different approaches on how to improve and develop their character. So, and also they touch with their guardians or their parents. And at the beginning, I would like also to share that at the beginning, this was quite challenging because these cram school classes or reinforcement classes are common, for instance, in the city centers. It's something that is already common. But for places like Sofala, Nyamatanda district, it is not common for a student to attend classes twice. Not only because parents expect house chores from their children. So it was challenging to bring this program into the community, even though we at first, after being in touch with the government, with the local education directorate, we also went to the community leaders. We held meetings with the community leaders as well as the school directors and teachers to explain the aim, the advantages that these classes would bring to the students. But still, we noticed hesitation from the parents. Some of them, for instance, would plead that the students could not attend these extra lessons because they have already been to school. So why would they go to attend another class again? And others would say that it was hard for them to attend classes because they are supposed to do house chores at home. They have responsibilities such as going to the farm in some cases, or just house chores, helping their parents and cooking and laundry and so on. So it was not just about going and teach. We had to hold the meetings with parents and explain them the importance of these classes, the impact that these classes would bring to them. We explained them, and it was somehow they started attending classes gradually. So it was challenging in this aspect. And as a solution, as I was saying, we had regular meetings, and also our commissioners, our certified volunteers, they had very important roles apart from the teachers, because our commissioners, they have best manners. They have a very good connection with the community. So they had a very important role on talking to the guardians, to the parents as well, on how and why we aim to bring these classes and what would be the results. So I'm also very grateful for our commissioners because they really have a very good communication with the community. The teachers also have, but the commissioners have a very good approach. And teachers, along with the commissioners and the other volunteers, together, you could manage to make them understand about the importance. And gradually, the number of students started increasing on our cram school program. And I would like to bring briefly a story, a case of success. We have actually a lot of cases, but I would like to bring the case of uh, the boy by the name Bashu Joshua. He's 9 years old, he's doing grade 4, and he lives only with his grandmother. This boy, from the beginning of the program until now, he has shown very great improvement. The teachers also have been saying that whenever we meet the teachers because every end of a trimester, we go to the schools to ask for the marks, to get some feedback from the students who are attending our cram school. So the teachers have mentioned that this boy, Joshua, he really improved a lot, and now he's he participates more, he volunteers himself more, he's more open to speak. And there is one aspect that looks very simple, but also very important. He smiles more. The teacher mentioned that he used to be very introvert, and but nowadays he's more talkative, he opens more, and especially he smiles more than before. So this is something that really makes us, as the people who are dealing with the education mission, very happy to know that we're not only bringing the improvement in terms of maths, Portuguese, writing, reading, but also we are somehow participating on education, on the development of these children. So this program, it was conceived to improve their performance, but we have core aspects other than that on this program, which are the Jinsi aphorisms, and also the hot meal programs, which is to which makes them more engaged, and also the school collaboration. And I would like also to emphasize that apart from the community, we have had the engagement from the community, from the school directors and the teachers, as well as the parents through regular meetings, which are so far have shown great results. So thank you so much for the opportunity, for the time. This is our sharing.
So, Walter?
Hello, can you
Yeah,
hear me?
sorry, my internet was disconnected for a while just now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, please. You have completed?
Yes.
You've done your sharing. Okay, wonderful. Kangen so much for the sharing. As you went on with the beginning with the sharing, if I may, we got a few minutes more. If I may, I just want to see a couple of clarification from you. But my first question is, what brought both of you to do what you are doing? What inspired you exactly? I mean, there must be a reason
Sure.
behind this.
Well, in my case, we actually we have always been English teachers. And when I met Tichi at the time, I was supposed to teach English only, and that was what I had in mind, just to teach English. But during this process, I had some great experience in Tichi that really changed my mind, changed my mindset, and changed the way I see the world nowadays. Now, today I see education as a mission, as a very powerful tool for social development, as a tool that provides opportunities equally, or a tool or a platform that should provide opportunities equally, regardless our background. And there's something interesting. I was teaching in Tichy. I was training some young volunteers at the time for about 3 months, and I was invited to participate in um, distribution programs, distribution activity where the volunteers were assisting beneficiaries. And when they invited me, I went there after the lesson. I went with the volunteers, with the team. And when we got there, I saw the volunteers carrying all the kits, the aid kits, the rice, and unloading from the truck very happily and singing joyfully. So this was the first, I mean, I was like, oh, wow, they are working so hard, but they are singing. They are so happy. Why? So this was very remarkable to me. I saw them happy, working so hard, and very attentions. They were not only just providing aid, they would talk to the beneficiary. They would help carrying the aid up to they would help them crossing the road. They would help as much as they could. And this was the first impact to me. I was like, wow, why are they so happy? But if they are working so hard, and from that day on, I started changing my mind, my mindset. I was like, wow, and they were singing, and most of them volunteers at my mother's age, but they were carrying very heavy kits, but happy, singing joyfully. So this inspired me a lot, and I started getting engaged in trying to get as much as I could about why the volunteers were so dedicated. Why were they so happy? Why were they always smiling? And why would they handle the aid kit, looking at the eyes, bowing, and all this was very remarkable to me. And from that day on, I tried to get as much as I could. I learned as much as I could. And I felt like I should also play a role on the young people's life, especially when I went to Sofala. So I got inspired in a way that I was like, what if I also participate and change the life of the young people in Mozambique? So this is what inspired me the most. Thank you.
Actually, I shared the same feeling because I really believe that teaching is our passion. And it's through this passion that we have this battle every day to break linguistic barriers. Because in our homeland, not having English skills is actually a barrier because most of the opportunities usually come in English, no more in Portuguese. If you find them in Portuguese, really rare. So helping our communities to communicate and to expose their ideas in a different language is very grateful for us. And we can see from the face of our volunteers and beneficiaries that as long as they're able to communicate in such a different language, they they really feel themselves in the sky. I can say so. Yeah, thank you. And breaking all these barriers, they really feel that different opportunities are coming through their way. Because opportunities not only come in beautiful clothing, none of them come with filthy clothing, as you can see from the children and beneficiaries and volunteers from Sofala. They didn't have the knowledge of the language, but as long as they acquired it, they could expose even their feelings and so on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to say more, but yeah, we are very happy to see, especially the process. There is nothing more, there's nothing better than observing the development of the students from where you got to know them to what they're turning, you know. So this is, especially when we come to Taiwan and we see them now speaking Chinese, going to university, participating in lectures, and getting more in-depth knowledge regarding the Tuchi philosophy, starting dreaming even higher. There is nothing that can provide us more gratitude rather than that. So this is what inspires us the most. Thank you.
Thanks so much, brothers, two brothers from Mozambique. You know, one of the greatest lesson that I learned from you is that I didn't quite see the way when my brother Chaponda mentioned that this English language can have the improvement in the health and poverty. I mean, what was running to my mind, well, a lot of our countries, they are still stuck in our local language, and some countries actually are very insular to promote only their local language. So when you go to the country, it's very difficult to communicate with them unless you speak in the local language, right? But the first time I went to Japan, there are hardly any people who can speak English. Obviously, today, there are a lot of people do because they're so exposed to the world right now. But it's an interesting revelation for me for Mozambique and the importance of the English communication. So, Kanan, so much, and again for this, and I understand today is a part one of your sharing. I presume, on my part, presume there will be a part two coming through. All right, we do look forward for you to come back, and again, thank you for so much. And so much for the insight you have shared with us. All right, so we're going to move on now to the second session. It's going to be none other than our very sister Su Ching and brother Joe from Malaysia, who's going to share with us their education footprints in Lumbini. They are very, very
Brother Chin, maybe we could take a group photo before our brothers leave first.
we have a good photo. So can you open up your video? Sister Su Ching, can we stop share first and take a picture? All right. Okay, let's take a picture. And I know some of you are very busy going all the way to Klang, right? For the groundbreaking. All right. So,
Over to me, right? Because I couldn't hear you. All right. Okay. Okay, I have to turn on my camera, and I'm sharing on both my laptop and my handphone. It's crazy because my camera's not working this morning, but the show must go on. Okay. So I titled my presentation Nepal with a New Purpose because I've been to Nepal before. This is actually, when I went just last month, it was my third time. So I thought that I'll just start with interesting facts about Nepal. Sorry. It's never been colonized. The local saying is it's better to die than to be a coward. Because Nepal has never been colonized. It's just one of the, I think, 3 countries in the world, the other 2 being Japan and Thailand. The second interesting fact is that it is the only flag in the world that is not square. It is made up of 2 triangles, as you can see over here. 8 of the 10 highest peaks in the world is in Nepal. It is the most dense concentration of World Heritage Sites. Tragedy struck in 2001 on the 1st of June when the Crown Prince of Nepal, they used to have a royal family. He killed his whole family. He came in one day after, well, I think it was before dinner, and he killed his entire family and then himself. So it's still out there as to why and the motive of why he did it. A lot of people opine that it was because he wanted to marry someone that his family did not approve of, but that is something that we will never know. And if you turn the map of Nepal 90 degrees, you will have Portugal. Isn't that strange? Almost identical shape. All right. Of course, the 7th interesting fact is it is the birthplace of Buddha. And that is in the south of Nepal. So my past experience in Nepal was, the first one was in October 2012. So that was 12 years ago. I went on a trip to the Annapurna circuit. So they have 2 major circuits. One is the Everest circuit, and the other one is in Annapurna. Where Kathmandu is, one is to the right and the other is to the left. I also learned when I was there in October that the national flower, the rhododendron, it blooms in spring. So it will turn the mountain white, pink, and red. And because I saw some pictures of it, I know I needed to go back. It is one of the very few places in the world, because there's so many places in the world to visit, that I went twice to the same location. So it was very tough the first time I hiked. It was a day in Kathmandu, then we took the bus, which took an entire day to Pokhara, just to acclimatize because the altitude is a bit higher. And after 6 days of climbing, we would come back to Kathmandu. So it was really long, I think about 10 days. These were the first few pictures I had of Nepal. As you can see, it's beautiful. If you are loving nature, as I still am. This was one of the stops along the Annapurna range. On the right, you will see this one is called the fishtail. The mountain is like this. It looks like a fishtail. The camera is not very well angled. Okay. Then in April of 2013, just 5 months later, I bought a Groupon voucher and I went on another hiking experience to the Annapurna range. There I met many new people because we joined a different group. I also met a guide called Gopal, which I contacted when I was there. And that guy has worked in Klang before, so he speaks a bit of Malay. I saw the promised blooms and it was beautiful. And it was the end of April when we finally went. And if you go to Kathmandu, in a place called, where is it called? Never mind. It is where a lot of foreigners and tourists go. There are t-shirts that says it doesn't snow in April, but it was the end of April and it snowed when we reached Gorapani. But it was really one of the best trips of my life. Here is me on the left side. I look like the hunchback. I had my bag and we were so not prepared because it's not supposed to snow in April. But this is how beautiful it is. At the back, you could probably see some of the rhododendrons still blooming. When we reached some of they're called tea houses. Along the track, there are tea houses where you can stop and have tea. In this particular stop, I can still remember it was so cold. We were all huddling together next to a fire source. So this was my group. Gopal is on the left, and the rest, there are some Malaysians over here. There's two people from really around the world. It was a wonderful trip. I spent a lot of time in the mountains, and I realized Nepal has tourist money, a lot of it. And I found Nepal to be raw and pristine. The time that I spent in Kathmandu was just very little. I stayed a night, and then the next day we were off to Pokhara already. So on the 20th of August 2024 at 9:19 a.m., Sister Stephanie texted me and said, would just consider going on 13th to the 22nd. She has mentioned this before, but at that point, I think the names that were considered had already closed. So I thought that was just an opportunity that has passed me by. But when it happened again on 20th August, I remember I was driving and then the message came through and then I totally forgot about it. But when I saw it again at 11, I quickly responded, let's do this. And if I overthink, I won't do it. So thank you, Sister Stephanie. So in less than a month from the day she said go, I had to buy tickets and understand the ground arrangements. So there were quite a few meetings because there were a lot of things that we had to do. It was a particular project. I managed everything at home, and just approaching that, the flights got delayed. We couldn't get the same flight. So there were quite a lot of challenges along the way. So I learned to surrender and just follow the flow. On day one that I was there, it happened that I was supposed to be the last to fly in, but in the end, I was the first to fly in and I had a day on my own. And because I had a day on my own, I decided to venture out and walk around because that's really the way you see a city. But in Kathmandu, there aren't any, you can only go around either by walking or if you take a taxi, and the roads are really, really narrow that you would want to walk. So when I walked, I noticed that Nepal has not changed. And in the 12 years that I was there, and I was feeling very, very bad because my mind was just full of judgment and chatter as to you would expect things to change in 1 year, even if it's not 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. But 12 years has passed and nothing has changed. It's still very dusty, very crammed, so noisy, and you can still see that poverty was all around. And if you observe this picture with the telephone lines and the electrical lines, it is as messy up there than it is down at the ground below. So I was actually quite happy when the team finally caught up with me. And as you can see, even from the picture over here, I wasn't in the best space when my team joined me. So we went to Lumbini. We had to fly from Kathmandu to Lumbini. So actually, our trip to Lumbini is somewhat a pilgrimage. It wasn't a direct flight. Okay. So anyway, I shared my feelings with Sister Stephanie. She asked me how I was. And I told her that I really don't like the place. That was my initial experience. She was very gracious in listening to me without saying that I was right or I was wrong. And she listened and she spoke to me about the vision that she saw and the vision that Master sees for this place. And what I got from her is that I don't have to like the place, but I have to love the people and the work that we do. So with that thought in mind, we first met up with the Tuti office, and on the left, that's the Tuti office. It doesn't look like much from the outside, but in the inside, it's simply wonderful. Tuti offices around the world have a certain a certain DNA. So no matter where you are in the world, it looks and feels the same. Yeah. So we stayed in Hotel Aloka. Actually, my experience there in in Lumbini is really, really so much better than what I imagined and what I thought it would be. Okay, so our classes are mainly interactions with the education team while we are there. And in this particular day, after class, I thought it would be nice for everyone to stand up and stretch and loosen our muscles a little bit. Okay, this was a class that I was very surprised because it was one of the poorest schools that we met. So the experience that we got, we visited schools across the spectrum from the very poor to even the very rich, the private schools. So in this particular school, when we first went, the electricity got cut off and we couldn't stay in the classroom because it was really hot and very dark. So the Tuti volunteers, ever so mindful, had our laptops all charged and we were already ready to conduct a class under a mango tree outside the school. So we brought out all the benches and the teachers were seated and let our class begin. So in this particular day, we were talking about hygiene and about personal grooming, and this is really in corporate terms training the trainers. So I saw firsthand how it was done, and a lot of us had roles. So, but when we saw that certain things were amiss and we could jump in to complete it, that is how we were working when we were in Lumbini. It was just a lot of team dynamics. It's very hard to explain. We also joined in not just the education projects and the missions that we had, but also the charity cases. So in Lumbini, they have one village, one community. And when I went there, I noticed that children are children the whole way around. All children want to do is to learn and to be happy. And I think this picture captures the essence. So Brother Joe in our team was telling them to line up in a row and jump and touch the sky. We have, this is in Hotel Aloka at towards the back where our dining hall is. We would sometimes meet and have a chit chat and debrief about the day that has passed. To the left, in one of the villages where they have the 1V1C, there was an impromptu interaction with the local villagers. So when we first came, all the kids just ran out with happy smiling faces and we were playing with them. Of course, you can see over here, the game that we played is London Bridge. So there are certain games, it really doesn't matter, language doesn't matter. I feel when I was in Lumbini, I experienced that love is a universal language and it doesn't need to be spoken because it just needs to be felt. As I walk around even the place between our hotel and the office, I saw a lot of tuk-tuks. It was just right outside Lumbini Park where Buddha was born. And I saw this tuk-tuk with a Jingsu aphorism phrase stuck to the back. So I can see that although this place hasn't changed in 12 years, it is beginning to, and everything has to have a start. The journey of 1,000 steps really begins with one. And I'm so glad that Tuti has taken the first few steps. The last 2 years has been tremendous. And as I experience all the places that I went to, it is very evident that Tuti has left an indelible mark in the lives and the future of a lot of villagers and children and people there. This was an interesting site. This is a house that's being built. A lot of houses and places that we see has a pile of bricks right in front. And I was told that when villagers have a bit of money, they will set aside and buy bricks. And when they have more money, then they will start building. So they build the foundation first. And when they have money, they start building rooms. So what a privilege it is for us that we can really just move into a house that is completed, because that's not the common experience to those who are in Lumbini. We were very privileged because when we were there, a brother from KK came over and he's a cook. So our food was a lot of home food that we were familiar with on top of the Nepali food. So that was really, really a nice surprise. I was prepared for dal bhat every day. Dal bhat is dal with rice. But this is the kind of spread. This is a sampling of the kind of spread, because it was also Mid-Autumn Festival, and that day was very, very cloudy. It looked like it was going to rain, so the sun didn't really come out the entire day. But the rain didn't come, so off we went to Lumbini Park, and we were celebrating Mid-Autumn Festival with a very nice spread, and we invited the volunteers to come with their family. So there was so much merrymaking that the moon decided to come out. So that's why you can see a lot of celebration. And in this case, in this picture, we were all pointing towards the moon. As you can see in the glow on our faces, that we were really so happy. We also joined the local volunteers and observed their participation in the schools that they go to teach Jingse aphorism. You can see that there's a lot of interaction between the students and the teachers. So that was really, really good to see. In one of our experiences, we went to a private school. This looked a lot like an international school, and it really, from the students also, we can tell that this is another class of society. So we got to experience students even from various social backgrounds. This was a public school that we went to. It was surprising because even in that brief interaction that we had with the students as we were leaving, we had some time. The students came around us and really gravitated towards us and spoke to us. A lot of them were just curious where we came from. Ching Tian is in the picture, and a lot of them thought that she looked Korean. A lot of what was surprising is not many people knew where Malaysia was, but they only know that a lot of Nepalis are in Malaysia. Yeah. So this was the class that we had. We crammed the students into one class so that we can have them together. It was extremely hot, if you could see that we were melting, but we were all in high spirits. In this particular school, I had we were given lunch, and the treat was really the paneer in the curry, which was so fantastic. So as I interacted more, so it's true what Master says, you have to go into society in order to feel the pulse of what's going on. I started to see beauty where initially I didn't. And this is sunrise actually, and just standing there. This was just next to the hotel. I saw a big bird fly from the top, and then it landed, and then it flew off again. So there's beauty in everything if we will only see. Sometimes we went out for breakfast. I was also very happy to connect with people in my mother's world. My mother is a volunteer in Penang, and this is Sister Biling. And as she spoke, all she had to say was, blah, 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 I'm from Penang. And I went up to her and I said, do you know my mom? And she told me, well, your mom and I are good friends. So that was very a nice connection over there. We are holding bananas because well, I'm still a banana. She's not so much, but she was just telling me that's how she started. Okay, over here we interacted with the team from the education team. Ching Tian is a fireball. As far as the team dynamics are concerned, I think we have the dream team. In this school, it's called the Siddhartha School. When we went, they were having a contest outside underneath a banyan tree. This tree provided so much shade that the temperature and the feeling underneath the tree was so different from outside. It was really scorching hot, but underneath the tree was fantastic. I also had the opportunity to bless some students who won the competition. So it's a very different feeling, and if you see my smile there, it's really genuine. And at that moment, because I've always thought of as just a lay person, I'm always receiving blessings, but here I am having the potential to bless another as well. This is all of us under banyan tree. We also had an opportunity to meet with teachers who came and experienced Su Ching aphorism, and the intention of this interaction was to get them to come into the Teachers Association in Lumbini. The day when we left, we went to two important Buddhist sites. One is Bodhanat and Sawan. I've been there before because I've been to Nepal twice, and my experience, my perception of the place was colored by my attendance the last time. So I told Sister Stephanie, actually, no, I don't want to go because I remember the Bodhanat to be so messy, so dirty. But she says we're already here, and plus the ticket has already been bought. So I went in there, but I was so surprised. There was an earthquake in, I think, 2012 or something like that. And after that, they had a bit of renovation, but the place is really, really a world apart from what I remember. So that was a nice surprise and also very welcoming. When we were in Sawan Bunat, a guy, an American, stopped us and said, Tzu, and we asked him how he knew. He spent the summer learning Mandarin in Hualien University. So the uniform speaks volumes, and it actually puts us, because of the good work that Tzu does all over the world, we become an icon just by wearing the t-shirt. So I need to be very mindful that when I wear the uniform, I'm actually an ambassador of Tzu. So a couple of things that I learned is the first one being seeing things with a new set of eyes. The item or the scene is actually the same. Nothing has changed, but the perspective and the coming from, as in now I see it with a new vision. Actually, might I say, it's just with love. Then everything changes. Okay, the heart sees things that the eyes don't. And what the other day when I was back, actually I just got back from Hualien and Taipei. We were sweeping in Shanghai Jingse Hall, and there was a rock, and I see the word as I was wrapping up the sweeping of the courtyard outside, Duo Yong Xing, and I'm constantly reminded to use the heart a lot more rather than just seeing things at surface value. Okay, the one important thing that I really experienced is that the path is paved by the footprints of everyone. It really doesn't matter who we are, that we are part of Tzu is more important. So the individual is not as important as the whole, but the individual is important because if not for the many individuals, then how can we be one? And really, like I said earlier, the experience that I had was really, really a lot more than I can imagine it to be. I went with a clean slate. There was no expectation, but really, it was so much more than I imagined. And I know that it is not from nothing. It is from the people who have come before me, and they have really laid the path. So it makes it a lot easier for those who will come later. And the main realization I have is that this is a journey that everyone must take. Real growth really exists outside of our comfort zone. It really existed outside of my comfort zone. That I had so much expectations, and I was so attached with the expectations that initially I just couldn't get myself out of it. But when I can rise above it, then everything changes. Before I end, I just wanted to share just one thing. So I just came back from Taipei on Tuesday this week, not last week. So I was there a bit earlier to join my daughter, and by the 29th, we heard that the typhoon is coming to Taiwan with a vengeance. So it was already showing signs that something is coming. There was a lot of rain. But as you can see in this picture, this one looks like a vicious eye. So we experienced just some parts of the typhoon. It wasn't so bad in Taipei, but the trains were not working for the entire day, and a lot of shops were closed. And the day after the main typhoon, we got the opportunity to go to Hualien, and we saw a lot of trees were uprooted. And with the storm, of course, there are things to harvest, like we were harvesting pine and all that. But the devastation was as clear as daylight all around us. So a lot of clearing work happened, and you can see everybody was all hands on deck. But as we came back, on the day that we were coming back, we got the opportunity to walk around the grounds again, but again, this time with a different set of eyes. Master of the abode took us around, and I recall that I was here in 2019 with Sister Riani and Sister Lesim before. And the picture on the left is exactly, this came from Sister Alicia, by the way. She took this path, and I needed to show it because there were so many trees, and they're lined one next to each other, and it's so close. But do you see any of the trees falling down? Not even one. So none of the trees were uprooted. And this was a path that was here in 2019, and it is standing so straight in 2024. And why is that? If the trees were being tossed and turned, and if you can see over here, even the ones with the bigger trunks got uprooted, but the ones with thinner trunks didn't. And that is because trees, when they are planted next to each other, they hold each other by the roots. Because if the foundation is strong, then I will hold your hand as you hold mine. And isn't that what Sisi is all about? So we took this picture. Oh my goodness, I am choking up. I really felt that as a team, we are united no matter what. Just by us being strong and holding each other and doing Titi work. And that's all from me. Kan for listening. I will hand over to Brother Joe for his sharing right now. Over to you, Brother Jin.
Brother Joe, I understand for Brother Joe there is a recording. So if who is going to play the recording from Brother Joe? Okay, whilst they are searching for the recording, Sister Su Ching, she has shared with us how her early venture to Nepal in the early days of her adventure planted the seed of return, and obviously she returned back recently. And the point, Sister Su Ching, you mentioned the first observation when you arrive is it hasn't changed much, the place that you've been through. So you planted the seed of change to Nepal, and we hope that that seed of change you have planted on the education side will continue to grow and manifest and spread through to go into a big tree. So a seed can bump into a tree. A tree currently have many seeds, and we will see a transformation in Nepal in the years to come. And you have shown us how to be an exemplary ambassador of Su Ching, as you mentioned. So, Kanan, so much for all the great work that you and the team has done so much. Now, Brother Joe, as I understand, because he's engaged at the moment, and he has done a recording. So I want to know who has the recording of Brother Joe that you can.
Brother Chin, Stephanie here.
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to try to get the recording shared. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, just give me a minute. A bit, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Sister Stephanie, I managed to download it. Maybe I'll play it.
You have it?
Yeah, I'll play it.
I'm loading.
Yeah, okay, I'll play it.
Blessed day to everyone. My name is Joe Yo.
Okay, I have it
from
actually.
Malaysia.
Oh, you've done it, huh? Okay.
My sharings will consist of two parts.
Blessed day to everyone. My name is Joe Yo, and from Malaysia. And today I would like to do my sharings on my recent trip to India. My sharings will consist of two parts. The first one, I'll talk about achieving success with fun and less stress, how it is done through the power of a balanced team. And number two, I'm going to talk about my own reflections or perspective on the suffering through my eyes. Here I'd like to show is our team from KIA to Kamandu to Lumbini, and we went to the village. We did go to many schools, and the last two pictures was about the few hours. I think we have about 4 or 5 hours before we fly back to Malaysia. We managed to drop by and visit some tourist attraction area. Next picture over here is showing that me and my team, we enter to certain schools and we carry out the Jingsa Tourism teaching, how is it done, and especially on the experiential learning and how we can engage, how we can deliver the contents to the students and also the teacher. This is another set of pictures where we go to another schools, and you can see the team and also the Nepal volunteers, local Nepalese volunteers did their performances, did their teachings to the teachers in the respective schools. This picture shows myself, the video. We were having fun with the students. Yeah. This last picture is or video, I would say, is captured when we have one of our presentations at the one of the international schools. So how is all this able to achieve? Where you have fun. It looks like we really have a lot of fun. All right, and I believe this is important, how we can actually blend to achieve a good synergy team, and I will call it as a fuse team. What does fuse here means? Fuse, the abbreviations of fuse is F for focus, unity, support, and also energy. So shows of fusions of support, unity, and energy within a focus team. And what is team? Team is abbreviations of trust, energy, alignment, motivation. So I think it's a strong trust and energy in alignment with the team goals. In a fuse team, these elements blend together, creating a powerful synergy that enhances the productivity and also the cohesion. The idea is that when all these factors are fused together, the team operates at its best. Therefore, it is very, very important, under the fuse team, leadership is very important. I'm very grateful in this trip. Our leader is Sister Stephanie. She has a lot of experience, is a great leader. She help us to ease a lot of things. And besides that, I think what makes the team able to solidify, gel, and also performs at its best is the right mindset. So the team consists of Sister Stephanie, Brother Potat, Sister Su Ching, Sister Xing Tian, and also me. I think our mindsets are very focused, straight. We know what we want to do. We are there to deliver what we need or what need to be done, and it is the right team metrics is also very, very important. For example, Brother Potat is very talented, is good in taking pictures, photographs, so he has his own scope to take care of, so to make sure that all these pictures are all recorded, able to share by to others, just like what I should have shown just now, those beautiful pictures. And Sister Stephanie, being a good leader, and she knows her contents very well. Sister Su Ching as well, and myself, we are all both from the program team. Sister Su Ching is in the PCBC or Parents Child Bonding Class program team. Myself is in the English Chesao, or we call it TCJ program team. Sister Xing Tian is perfect blend to have Sister Xing Tian in, because in one or in few of our contents that we need to deliver is actually talking about hygiene, talking about living skills, and Sister Xing Tian is a perfect person to deliver that part. So the right team metrics is very important. If you have the right leadership, you have all the team members are at the right mindset, the right team, the metrics are correct, I think unity can be formed. Teamwork can achieve. Because why? There is a lot of understandings, a lot of dedications, and there is a lot of respect within the teammates. The second part that I would like to share here is talking about suffering through my eyes, through my eyes, the perspective, reflection. So if you look at the pictures, the two pictures on your left hand side, the above is a school located in a village. Underneath is a school in the town area, and it is an international school, and the status is above average or premier international school. You look at the tables, look at the chairs, look at the floor, I think you can see a big difference. The top pictures is again a school in the village. You can see that on the right hand side, colored in pink, is a school, and the buildings, those houses on your right hand side are actually residential. Whereas you look at these pictures underneath, you can see it's a beautiful entrance to the international school. Again, you can see there is a big difference. On top, you can see that's Sister Xing Tian having posing for a beautiful picture, positions with the school and with the village kids. And underneath, you can see this is how we actually enjoy and we celebrate and we play together with the children in the village. Yeah, so this little girl has been following us everywhere. And this is her house, and you can see that how her friend playmates, actually, yeah, is her favorite cook, and from here there you can see as well. I think you can see is how this the villages over here really coexist, with the animals. You can see that the houses over here, many of them have living together, with the buffaloes. They have buffaloes in Nepal. Most of them are buffaloes, and also goats in Nepal. Relatively compared to the pictures below, as mentioned, the picture below on the left hand side is me with the students at the international school, and what are the things that they play? I'm surprised to see that they are into drones, they are into robotics, and it's a different set of toys that they are playing or experiencing. So what I would like to bring up here is two words. One is comfort, and the first one is comfort. The second one is desire. My question here is: Are they suffering? Are they suffering? In many of our eyes, maybe when we look at the pictures, we think that they are suffering. Why? Okay, I'll speak on my perspective. Because we are experiencing a different level of comfort. So when we look at those pictures in the villages, we have better comfort, and therefore we think that they are suffering. But to me, I look at it differently, because they are not really suffering. Okay, they may be suffering in terms of infrastructure. Then maybe they are suffering in terms of cleanliness. In that perspective, but none of them are living in famine. They have food. They're able to meet their basic needs, and therefore I don't think they are really suffering. And if we compare to people at war, I think people at war are more suffering, because less unable to fulfill the basic needs, just like in the theory of the Maslow, talking about the basic needs, talking about food, talking about air, talking about clothing, talking about safety. I think people at war are really suffering. To me, is that once we have our comfort, once we have experienced our comfort, and seeing other people having a better life, better things than us, I think that creates the desire. So, in my perspective, I would like to share this. Is comfort the catalyst to desire, or the rise of desire? And the rise of desire is creating or become more and more until we are trapped in this famous quote, famous word, rat race. We keep on wanting more. We keep on want more comfort. So this is the rat race that we may trap in. If we keep on, if we are unable to control our desire, which is will lead then to a lot of other attachments of wanting more and more. But is comfort or wanting ourselves to be better, is there any harm of having that or doing that? because everyone's conditions are different. Everyone's living in a different kinds of environment. So it pop up here that I think more important is there's nothing wrong of wanting to have a better life. It's nothing wrong about that. You know. The only thing is that we need to be careful and watchful of the desires. As what Masters always says, be mindful. I think we need to be mindful. We need to reach a certain level of awareness, certain levels of educations. Basic needs must be fulfilled so that we have at least we can survive. We can survive, and we can help ourselves to be a better persons, a wiser persons, and stuff like that. So, because if we take away comforts or wants to be a better person, and there is wrong of doing that, wrong of wanting to be a better person, and what is the meaning of life then? So this famous quote saying beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. I would like to add another one, that is suffering lies in the eye of the beholder as well. And finally, as comfort, watchful of the comfort, watchful of the desires, and linking it back to the Maslow, I think the basic needs everyone needs to fulfill, which is the bottom level of the Maslow, bottom two level of the Maslow. And if we are not watchful, and if we go back to the Maslow hierarchy of needs, and as we climb to fulfill the higher levels, self-esteem, achievements, and other than that, I think that is the part where in Buddhism it separate out that, you know, if we are too focused on top of the hierarchy, that is where we will have lots and lots of attachments. That's how we also will trap into the more sufferings of life, and we may not able to live a happier life. So the summary of my sharing is, it is very important to have a fused team. It's very important to have very, very good teammates. It's very important to have a balanced, right matrix team, and with the right combinations of the teammates, the right combinations of respect, right combinations of delegations, right combinations of focus. I believe that we can. It's just like killing. We can achieve missions much easier. And number two, suffering. The word suffering, I think it lies in the eye of the beholder. Be watchful of the comfort. This, from my perspective, comfort is the catalyst to desire. And from desire, if we keep on wanting more, we will trap in the rat race. That's the end of my sharing, and I hope this sharing will, I myself definitely, the team before we, when we are on our way back, we say, hey, when's the next missions? Why not, we sign up, looking forward for the whole trip to go again. So I hope also with these sharings, more people will actually wanted to go, or have the opportunity, or have the affinity I think many people want to go, but do we have the affinity? Once you have an affinity, please seize the affinity to go and open up our mind to see, to experience from a different perspective. And all, I'm looking forward for other sharers to share their experience uh, when they have their affinity to travel to serve as well. And
Have the recorded sharing from Brother Joe. And we've got, Sister Su Ching is still here. Interestingly, Brother Joe shared about the Maslow hierarchy of needs. And at the epitome of that pyramid is actually about self-actualization. And obviously, that relates to the point that Sister Su Ching shared earlier. Su Ching still around? Sister Su Ching, or you are in Klang?
I'm here. I'm still here.
Oh, okay, great. That part on the self-actualization, I'm just wondering, on that particular moment, that particular point that Brother Joe brought up, and the sharing that you have shared with us when you arrive and you see nothing much has changed, and you then mention that you do all you can, and obviously realize that you need to be a good ambassador of Su Ching. So I'm just trying from that particular point of self-actualization. How do we grow from that to self-realization?
How do we grow from having that perception in the first place?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to link the point. Maybe it's unfair to you to answer this from
Yeah, but maybe I can have a perspective.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I cannot turn on my camera for whatever reason. This morning, my camera is not working on my laptop.
Right.
I am just recalling the wisdom in what Master has said, that we must go into the masses, and actually even the point that I was experiencing all this really incredible noises in my head and so much judgment about the place. In the doing, I actually found that there is much to love. So the cure for everything is to do, to go into the masses and to do what is right. And from the doing, the reality and the purpose of being there will just arise. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, of course. So I suppose in the Maslow hierarchy of needs, the actualization that I'm trying to relate, of which relates to an attainment of what one can do. But then the realization is very much of what the ultimate truth is, as opposed to one's perspective. And that's what I'm trying to relate the point that Brother Joe brought up between the two. But great, Takanan, so much for both your sharing. You have done great work in Lumbini in spreading the seeds of education, which, like what Brother Joe you mentioned at the end of the sharing, that you will continue, and that's the affinity that he has, and both of you has already established, and you planted the seeds. And so now what you need to do is to continue to nourish the ground, fertilize it, and shower it with Dharma rain. And so both of you are going to be the great ambassadors of Su Ching. Is going to spread and nourish the seeds to grow into a plant, from plant grow into a tree, and the tree will bear fruits, and the fruits are going to bear many, many seeds. And hopefully, Sister Su Ching, one day, when I go back to Nepal, I see the great transformation with all the great work that you have now planted in. All right, so
just one more thing.
Sorry, say
One
go
more
ahead,
thing,
please.
Brother Chin. The last slide that I showed about the trees being together and not one falls. Actually, sometimes in living, as I would also experience, and I'm sure some of the brothers and sisters as well, we feel a bit lost through experiencing life generally. But the thing that I learned from the typhoon is then get back into community, stand close to your brothers and sisters, because when you are close enough, even in times of extreme typhoon, when things are beating at you, you won't fall because you have each other's back. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Got it so much. All right, so that's all the time we have. It's 8:10 now. And so again, thank you so much for all the time you spent with us this morning, listening to the great sharers all the way from two sharers from Mozambique and to our great two ambassadors from Malaysia that went to Lumbini. So with that note, I wish you a very good weekend and a great week ahead. And till then, we'll see you the next Saturday. So, right. So now let us now offer a 3 bows to the 3 treasures with reverence, devotion, and gratitude. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. All right. So again, have a good Saturday. And for those so I think those who are in Klang are already off, and they have got a groundbreaking ceremony on building a new city center in Klang. All right. A very good day to you, and have a wonderful week ahead.